Check, check. Check, check. Are we on? Let's do this. Welcome to episode 2 of the Opinions That Change podcast. I'm your host, Ashlyn Sadler, and it's my birthday the day this gets released, so happy birthday to me. I am 29 years young and feel like I graduated last year, but have 4 kids, so it's this weird roller coaster of I feel younger, I should be older, but I'm 29. So here we are. With the 4th of July this weekend and it being my birthday, I wanted to talk about all of my holiday hot takes, and I'm including birthdays in that because my birthday is a holiday in this house. But I have a lot of opinions about holidays, and if you're a member of my family, you know that's true. Because every year, I decide, we're gonna do something different, because I am constantly trying to find ways to make holidays more peaceful and enjoyable for everyone. So, if we don't like something, we're not doing it anymore. I got too many kids and too much going on to make life harder than it should be. So, we will be keeping the peace in this household. A disclaimer, not disclaimer, but you probably want to pop some headphones in because I will be talking about holiday things, if you know what I'm saying. So if there's kids around, throw those headphones in. Let's start with the 4th of July because that one is this weekend. So, 4th of July, parades. Let's talk parades. We've been to a few parades, and I wouldn't say they're terrible, but last year, my family wanted to go to a parade in our hometown, so I volunteered to go set up blankets and save spots. Can we talk about that? Why are we going 2 days ahead of time to, lay down blankets? Can we all just agree to just, 1 hour before, have at it? Actually, that probably isn't a great idea. But, I don't know. It felt weird. It feels weird just laying your stuff out, and, yeah, don't know if I like that. And then, can we talk about the candy? This is going to be a theme. If you don't know me, the candy is a big theme in a lot of the things that I hate around the holidays. But last year, so I threw down those blankets, then we all show up there, and it was fun for about 5 minutes, and then you are in traffic and crowds with 40,000 people, and you go home with bags of candy that your kids have, and you have to make the decision, do I take this candy away and possibly cause food insecurities? I mean, this is my same thoughts around Halloween. What am I supposed to do? I can't let this 4-year-old, 5-year-old body consume this much sugar because, first of all, I know I will suffer the consequences for it. And also, I do have some kids that are a little more sensitive to certain ingredients and sugar than other ones. So it's I know the havoc that'll do, and I don't want it. I don't want it. And not to mention the fact that we lived in a rental and we had recently moved in and there was an ant infestation. So not only did I have to deal with the sugar tantrums, but I got taffy smashed into our carpet and about 4 bazillion ants are crawling all over their room. Hated it. And I remember before that, my sister was like, we should go to this parade. We should all go. It's in your hometown. And she was going to 4 parades that year. I don't know how she does it. I cannot. Which I don't, yeah. Anyways, I was I don't know if I want to go to a parade. And she convinced me to. I went, and I swear every year I'm I will never go to a parade again. Why? There are so many fun things to do in this world. I don't need to be going to a parade as one of them. I mean, call me like ruining my kid's childhood. Listen, I will say that being in the parade could be really fun. Like, if you, maybe that's what I need to start making the tradition, is with Waylon's business or my business, we just like pay to enter the parade and we're the ones throwing candy. Like, that could be fun because I'm all about like a good community thing. But like sitting there and people are like, well, you get all these free handouts. Yeah, are we talking about all the plastic garbage that ends up all over my house and then I have to collect and throw away? Because I don't want it. I don't want it. Ah! Okay, we'll move on from parades. But the candy topic will resurface. Let's talk fireworks. I am down with a fireworks show. I also don't love that we have to like show up a bazillion times early and deal with traffic. I feel like I am a huge people person and I love being around groups of people, but the older I get, the more I just like, I don't know, I want to be around my people, not crowds of random people. Maybe that's not true. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud right now. That's the whole point of this podcast, right? Is I can think out loud and I'm going to change my mind and it's fine. But I will say that there are very few fireworks shows that I've actually been to that I'm like, wow, that was amazing. Also, why are we recording fireworks shows? Like, it's 2026, people. We don't need to be recording it. It happens every year, multiple times a year. And nobody on your Instagram cares to watch your fireworks show. They all saw their own in real life, and it was really cool. So let's stop. I mean, unless like you're like people are in it and kids are in it, and you're like want it, it's all cutesy. I don't know, but we don't need to see the fireworks show on Instagram. I promise you, it's okay. You can sit and watch it with your kids and enjoy it in real life, not through your screen. I know they're usually like 10 seconds and the fireworks show is like way longer than that, but that's just how I feel, okay? That's how I feel. Now, buying fireworks. Waylon loves to buy fireworks, and we've done that a couple times with our neighbors, and it's been fun. I will say, every year I get a little bit more stressed about it. I don't know why we are so fearless as children, but as we get older, we just get less and less, at least I do. I'm getting less and less fearless, and I'm trying really hard to just like swallow my intrusive thoughts so that my kids can have a good childhood and I don't ruin it for them. But I will say that last year we had done a fireworks show with a bunch of our neighbors. And then there was some other neighbors doing different fireworks a little bit further down. And as we were wrapping up, they were like starting. And I will say, when we were inside, we were at the end of the cul-de-sac, and an aerial had tipped over and exploded into our cul-de-sac. I'm not kidding you, minutes after we had just gone inside. And all I was thinking was, oh my gosh, we all just about got third-degree burns, and yeah, that would have been horrible. But those things happen all the time, so I don't know. I have this hard, like, it's fun, and the noise doesn't bother me, although we do have a dog now, so this year might be a little different. I might be like, wow, now I understand why everyone with animals hates fireworks. I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes, but it's never really bothered me in that aspect. I just, it's stressy. Like, oh my gosh, as a mom, I'm like, also I stepped on a sparkler as a kid, and I remember that, and now every time my kids do sparklers, like, why are they like waving them as close to each other as possible? And I'm just sitting there like, oh my gosh, oh, okay, back up, don't get that close to them, okay, move, okay. I don't know how I feel. That's one of those ones where I'm just like, I'm gonna just swallow the intrusive thoughts and hope for the best, I guess that's where we're going with that one. Okay, moving on to Halloween. I love parts of Halloween and I hate parts of Halloween. So me and Waylon actually started dating the day before Halloween, and it was so fun. Waylon did not dress up when we started dating, and I was honestly very disappointed. But I dressed up and we had a great time. I love going to a good haunted house. I love the dress up part of it. I love the community part of it and I don't know, there are fun things to do around Halloween. The I'm sure you guys know where I'm going with this, but the trick or treating of it all. Can we all just decide to start doing like Costco snack for trick or treating? Like, can you imagine your kids come home and you stocked your entire pantry with Costco snacks? Can we do that? I don't need more candy bars and Skittles in my house. I need some more string cheese. That's a bad example. Or some chomps. Let's be handing out some chomps. Let's be handing out. I can't even think right now. But you know where I'm going with this. How fun would that be? A whole. Your kids have free reign on all these, like. I mean, I'm not really a snack household, so I don't buy that stuff. So my kids would be over the moon about it. That would be great. I would love trick-or-treating if we could do that. Because honestly, the trick-or-treating part of like going to the houses and knocking on doors, I know it's weird to some people, but I am such a people person that I'm like, this is fun. This is a great way to get to know like your community, say hi, like, I think it's fun. But then I come home and I'm like, what? I mean, it's the same thing with the parade. Like, am I supposed to give them, like, weird feelings about food? Or do I just let them have at it? Or do I get them one piece a day? So for the rest of, like, eternity, I have to hear, can I have another one? Can I have another one? Mom, is there more? Can I get another one? Can I get another? No, I don't want any of it. I don't want it. I don't like it. So this is what we've done the last couple years, and every year I stress about it, and every year I don't know what to do. But basically, we go trick-or-treating, we come back, I let them pick out some candy. I phrase it in a way where I say, pick some pieces, don't pick so much that you're gonna be sick, but pick out what you want to eat while we watch this movie, and then we dump the rest into the bowl and we hand it out the rest of Halloween. And as the night goes on, I just start dropping handfuls in those kids' bags because I don't want it in my house. I don't want it in my house. I feel like there was a few years ago, one of my kids just started having really bad behavior, and I did a whole entire elimination diet. We got rid of almost, like, literally eliminated everything basically from her diet, from all of our diet. We all went on it for 1 month, and then I slowly added everything back in, and her behavior changed drastically. So I know that food is heavily connected to it. I know that there's so many factors that go into that, but that was just one thing I noticed. And so I was very controlling about it for a while, and then it got to a point where I was like, okay, this is too much, and I just decided I'm going to control what I can in my house, and outside of that, I'm going to take a deep breath and I'm going to let it go. And I felt like that's great. My kids don't even go to public school, so they're not like at school having all this candy, but it still seems like there is candy everywhere. Like, am I wrong in this? Like, they go to church, I swear they get candy from church every week. There are some wards we've been in where they get like 6 pieces of candy each every week. And I'm like, why is it Halloween every week? What is happening? You know, they go to their dance classes and they get candy. They go to friends' houses, they get candy. They go to grandparents and they get candy. It's like every holiday, somebody's giving them candy. We go to a doctor's appointments, they're getting candy. I'm like, anyways, I just decided I'm going to control what I can in my house, and then I'm going to just let it go. I'm going to let grandparents be grandparents. I'm going to let friends be friends. I'm going to let teachers be teachers, whatever. And that's kind of where we've landed on this 80-20. But going back to Halloween, that's why when it comes in my house, I, like, if they bring it in, I'm probably going to kick it out pretty fast. I'm not keeping bowls of candy around. So if anybody has a good solution for that, I mean, we've done like the Switch Witch, and I don't know, didn't necessarily love that. My kids always beg to keep their candy, and I don't know. I don't know what to do. That's what, we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing. Unless somebody throws a better idea at me, but I feel like we've tried several things, and that's the best thing that's worked so far. So, alright, Thanksgiving. Waylon grew up with his parents being divorced, and so he went to multiple places on holidays, which probably adds to his reasons of why he doesn't like going everywhere for holidays. And we used to go to like 2 Thanksgivings every Thanksgiving, and I decided I want to do a turkey trot in the morning with my kids. My kids have been young, and we've only done it a couple times, but as they're getting older, I'm like, even if it's not like an official turkey trot, I'm like, I want to go run and play a game or do something with my kids outdoors in the morning, and then I want to come back and I want to bake with them, and then I want to take that food over to a family member's house, and I want to hang out all day. And I don't want to be like stopping in at a place and then stopping in at another place and having to be like, oh, sorry, we gotta go. And I never brought anything because we always had to leave pretty early in the morning where I didn't have time. I mean, I guess I could have made it the night before, but then it was like, if we're going to multiple, anyways, it was a whole thing. But that's what we decided we wanted. So now we're just sticking to one house, and I like Thanksgiving. I like getting together with family, and I like playing games, and hate the football of it all. Like, not interested in watching football. Which, can I just go on a tangent? I think I talked about this in my first episode, but why is football a thing? Honestly, the more, like, I've seen brain scans of football players. And if you haven't, go look at them. Because, no, I'm not volunteering my kid to get brain damage. That's one of the only sports my kid will never play. Like, no. When they turn 18, if they decide they want to go play that and sign themselves up for a concussion, I will strongly advise against it. But, I mean, honestly, let's be so for real. My kids are very skinny. They are not built to be football players. So, not mad about that. But, don't love watching football on Thanksgiving. I'd rather not. I want to sit. I want to chat with family. I want to hang out. I remember growing up, not always, but whenever we'd get together with my cousins and stuff, we would eat all the food, we would play Just Dance, we'd hang out, and then we would pull out all the magazines and circle all the Black Friday deals, and then we'd all go shopping at like 2 a.m. and we're like delirious, and those are some of my favorite memories with my cousins, and it honestly makes me so sad that Black Friday is not what it once was, because what do you mean it starts in October now? Like, as an adult, I'm like, yeah, I probably don't want to be standing outside in the freezing cold of a store with my kids at 2 a.m., but also I kind of do, because how nostalgic. Like, that was so fun. Like, be so for real. I just remember almost peeing my pants in a Target with my cousins laying on the floor in our pajamas and our hand warmers and our Ugg boots, and that's just, like, peak childhood, okay? And, like, getting out those magazines and circling all the things that you don't need, but you want and they're 50% off, so you're going to buy them anyways. It's just, it's so fun. And now it's like, well, I'm not impulse buying anything because it's all online and I'm just thinking about what we actually need. And honestly, smarter move, but okay, I had to get that out there. Let's talk about Christmas. If you didn't know, Christmas is my favorite holiday. I mean, that should be no shock to anyone because Christmas, I feel like, is most people's favorite holiday. And if it's not, what's wrong with you? I'm just kidding. Nothing's wrong with you. But, yeah, because of my, like, not love for Halloween, we actually, for the majority of our marriage, have set up Christmas October 1st. Yes, you heard that right. I said October 1st, not November 1st, October 1st. And we would always dress up as Santa and Mrs. Claus, and then we'd hand out candy canes. And then last year, my daughter was like, why don't we ever set up for Halloween? And so I was finally like, ugh, fine, we'll do it. And so we didn't set up for Christmas. Actually, that's not even true, because last year we moved, so that's why we didn't set up for Christmas yet. But we moved like the end of October, so I was like, I'm not setting up Christmas and then moving and then setting up Christmas again. So we didn't set up till November. But if you're not setting up by November 1st, like, if you're one of those people that are like, I don't set up Christmas till Thanksgiving, till after Thanksgiving, like, are you so for real? Like, what do you mean? People are like, well, I like to mix it up and I like to, like, change, like, the decor, and that's just like too long with Christmas. 8 weeks is too long to have the Christmas spirit and love and joy and happiness. Like, then Christmas trees and Christ and they're like, well, you're not giving Thanksgiving a chance. I'm sorry, Thanksgiving is also about family and getting together and love and kindness. And listen, I love a good Thanksgiving, don't get me wrong, but like, I can have a Christmas tree up and also sit around a table eating food with my family. So, yeah, start setting up November 1st. Okay. So how do we do Christmas? I grew up with a family that was, especially my grandparents, my grandparents were really into Christmas. My grandpa would always call us on the phone, and my grandpa passed away when I was probably 10 years old, but I still have very fond memories of Christmas time in Spokane with my grandparents. My grandpa would call and say, ho, 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 guess who I saw just around the corner? We'd all be like, Grandpa, you saw Santa! And it literally looked like Christmas threw up in their house. It was like every corner. I remember they used to live in this big house, and then they moved into this duplex, which was like, I don't know, an eighth of the house that they used to live in. And my grandma still set up, I swear, every single Christmas decoration that she had. And it was just wall to wall Christmas decorations. I remember one year, I remember being really sad because, which, this is total 7-year-old brain, but my grandma and grandpa had gotten all the cousins that were 8 years old and older these, like, electric motor scooters, and then they got, like, the 7 to 4-year-olds these, like, really nice, like, regular scooters, and then the younger kids, the bike, or these tricycle things that were really cool. Literally every single cousin. I'm not kidding you. You, like, walk into their house and the Christmas tree, and it's just, like, mounds of presents. And then they're like, we have one more surprise, and take us into their garage, and it's just lined up with all these. My grandparents loved Christmas so much. And back to why I was a little sad is because I was 7 that year and I wanted a motor scooter so bad, and both my sisters got one. But obviously I just needed to be grateful. My goodness, my 7-year-old brain needed to just be grateful because that was a very nice gift. But because I've just always loved the idea of Santa Claus, and I've loved that tradition, and yeah, I love it so much, and it's been really hard for me to navigate how I want to do Christmas because on the one hand, I'm like, I love the idea of just presents everywhere. And I feel like Waylon very much grew up with that too. It was like everything would be wrapped and under the tree, and it was like whatever you needed that year was saved, like it was wrapped and it was put under the tree. So there was always like tons of gifts. And I'm like, I want that, but at the same time, it's like I don't want a bunch of stuff in my house. And also I'm like, do I just, like, we've done years where it's just like we do 4 gifts and it's like Santa brings a gift, we do stockings, and then it's like something they need, something they want, and I can't remember what the other one is, but and then like there have been years where we just do whatever and it's more than that, and I don't know, it's all over the place, and I like the simplicity of not being so overwhelmed, but I'm also in the mindset of like, maybe I just need to go all out because it's fun and it's Christmas and who cares? And I don't know. But that brings me to, yeah, what do we do around like family time around Christmas, around going places, around presents from other people, all that kind of stuff. So I swear we've done something different every year, but a couple years ago, we had a really rough Christmas. we stayed, let's see, we stayed at my parents' because this was the year we were living in the fifth wheel. And so we stayed at their house, and then we decided to go like see everyone. And I swear we went to like 5 places on Christmas Eve, and it was like back to back, and they were opening presents at every single one, and it was like they'd open them and then they'd want to play with them and they'd be excited, and then we'd be like, oh sorry, no, we can't open them right now, we got to go to the next place, and then we'd drag them to the next place, and then it was like they'd open presents, and then it was like, okay, no, you can't play with them right now because we got to get to the next place, and then we'd go to the next place, and it was a lot. And I remember and me and Waylon had just looked at each other, and we were getting a little frustrated, but I was also like, this is on us. Like, we did not take into account what our kids needed for these holidays. We were just trying to please everybody else. Everybody but our family and our immediate family. And so me and Waylon just have had so many conversations since then, and Waylon was like, I want to stay home on Christmas. It's funny because growing up, I traveled, I swear, every Christmas. We were like there was Christmases we'd stay in hotels and we'd have an iPad and put a picture of I remember one time, yeah, we had an iPad, we put a picture of a Christmas tree and we set it up on the table, and that was our Christmas tree that year in a hotel. And yeah, we were just always traveling. It doesn't bother me to travel on Christmas. I would actually love to go somewhere really cool on Christmas and just not even be here, but maybe we'll do that as the kids get older. But Waylon, he just likes to stay home. He's like, I just want to be home on Christmas. I don't want to go anywhere. And we decided that was honestly the best thing for our kids too, because when they wake up and they're opening all their presents, and then like they just want to hang out in their pajamas and play with their stuff and hang out with each other, and they don't want to be dragged from place to place. So we just made a decision, and we were like, that's what we're going to do. And not that that's what we'll do every time. I think it was just like we don't want to have to be expected to be somewhere on Christmas. Like if Christmas Day comes, my kids open all their presents, and someone's like, hey, we're going to do this, do you want to come? And we're feeling up to it, like, sure, we'll go. But we didn't want these expectations, because I'm a huge, like, if I say I'm going to be somewhere, I don't want to cancel, or I don't want to be like, oh, sorry, my kids aren't up for it today, we're actually going to miss that. I don't like disappointing people in that way. I'd rather up front tell them, hey, we're not going to be there, than on the back end be like, oh, sorry, like, I know we said we'd be there, but we can't anymore. I hate that so much. And so I just say no beforehand. And then if it's a last minute thing and someone's like, hey, we're going bowling or we're going to the movies or we're going to this park and my kids all want to go and we're all in a great place, then we'll get up and go. But I think it's just that, like, having set plans that day, we've just decided we don't want it. We're not going to do it. And I didn't like going from place to place and my kids opening presents here and there and there and there. And so we also just asked everyone, we are so grateful for presents for our kids, but we just asked that they either give them to us beforehand, and then we can just set them out and they can open them on Christmas Day, or they're welcome to come over on Christmas, and if they want to watch them open them and give it to them themselves, they're welcome to come over. And we did that last year, and all 3 sets of grandparents and a lot of their aunts and uncles came over, and it was great because my kids didn't have to get like pulled from place to place. They were still able to see everyone that they loved, and yeah, I thought it worked out pretty well. And I mean, the logistics of that are a little bit hard when you feel like if one year we did want to go somewhere, but that year we were planning on staying home, so it worked out last year. And yeah, I don't know exactly how it's going to look this year, but we always on Christmas Eve will go to a family member's house, and that's kind of our like family, like our extended family part of Christmas. And then we kind of trade off with all the families a little bit, more or less. And then and we kind of just do what we think is best since we have 3 families to juggle. But more or less, we trade off with Waylon's family and my family. And so if it's not my family's year, like, we'll get together on a different day or vice versa or whatever. And so that's just kind of how we have been doing it. And yeah, we're still figuring out in real time. But I'm a big proponent of doing what's best for your kids and stop trying to please everyone, because at the end of the day, you're not going to please everyone. People are going to be disappointed either way, and they're allowed to be disappointed. They're allowed to be sad, because obviously in their head, Christmas was going to look a certain way, and it maybe doesn't, and in your mind it looks a certain way, and that's just what happens when you're bridging a bunch of families together. And both things can be true. It can be what's right for your family, and they can also be disappointed. And I mean, that's just how it goes, and it's okay. It's okay. I give you permission to say no to things this Christmas and always. Okay, let's move on to Easter. I mean, it's the same thing with Easter egg hunts. Listen, I remember one year we went to like 4 different Easter egg hunts, like a community one, like there was a business that had one. We did like 2 family ones, and I was like, no. I mean, it's the same candy spiel that I've said on every single one. And did you know that you actually like don't have to go to the Easter egg hunts? They're fun for about 5 seconds, and then you realize that some of the kids are crying because other kids got way more and they got less, and this happened and blah, 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 and it's a whole thing. And I feel like a good money Easter egg hunt, I'm all about that. And the kids, the ages my kids are at now, like, they would dig a money Easter egg hunt. They're very excited about money right now. And so I'm like, yeah, throw some quarters and some pennies and some dimes in those eggs, and let's, like, I love a good, like, hide and seek game, and that can be so fun. But yeah, I'm not going to community Easter egg hunts. I'm not doing it. And I can put whatever I want in our Easter egg hunts, and that's what we're doing. So yeah, one year my mom did like this. She hid all the eggs for all the grandkids, and each of the grandkids had a different color, and in the eggs it had a number, and that was like associated with a different prize. So that made it fun because it didn't have to be something that actually fit in the egg. So, and they all got the same amount of eggs and whatever. So, but it was like a fun game to like go out and find an egg, and then they'd come back and open it, and it would be like, oh, number 7, and then they'd like look and see which prize was number 7, and then they would get like really excited about whatever prize it was. And so that way she could do like different things that weren't necessarily candy, but it was kind of like her way of like giving them the Easter egg hunt and the Easter basket. Anyways, so I thought that was a fun idea, but yeah, get creative with it. It doesn't always have to be candy. So I also like, listen, we had bunnies. Did people know this? We had a bunny. Me and Waylon got a bunny. This is such a random tangent because I know we're talking about Easter bunnies here. But me and Waylon actually got a bunny when we first got married, and we loved it. We named her Chloe, and she just hopped around our apartment, and Waylon potty trained her, and she would just get so excited when he got home, and she'd get the zoomies, and honestly, such a fun pet to have. But we ended up moving in with my parents like a little bit later, and we had to get rid of the bunny because we were both working full time, and it was really sad. But then several years later, Waylon just always wanted another bunny, so we got another bunny, and we named her Rose, and she was so cute. And she lived in our garage, and we would leave the garage door like cracked a little bit, and she would go, literally we lived in townhomes, and she would just wander the neighborhood, and then she would come back at night or whenever she wanted to. And and not little, whatever. Do you call men hoes? No. What do you call them? I don't know. But he got her pregnant, and she had 7 babies, and this was 10 days before we were moving. So it was honestly wild, but it was honestly one of my favorite things ever, because all those little baby bunnies, and she had so many different colored ones that, oh my gosh, the pictures of my kids with these bunnies and these videos of these bunnies. And then we got chickens like shortly after that, and they're all together. Anyways, all that to say, I love bunnies. And oh my gosh, they're so cute. And I like some of the like Easter decorations and all that, but the whole idea is just so weird. And I don't love that Easter's so focused on all the Easter egg hunts and all that stuff, and less focused on Christ. And I know that's a very individual family like decision, as far as like you can make it as focused on that as you want. And so a few years ago I was like, okay, we're bringing it back. This is gonna be about Christ. Oh, actually, that's one thing I forgot to say about Christmas. Is leading up to Christmas, we do this tradition. It's called the 25 Days of Christ. And every day there's like a story about Christ's life, and then we watch a video and read some scriptures about it. And I love that, because it's like then the whole month of December we're thinking about Christ. It's not just like on Christmas. And it's like then you just do like 10 minutes every day, and your kids get this overview and snippet of like the whole birth story, the whole Christ thing. And then, yeah, so that's what we do leading up to Christmas. Okay, now go back to Easter. And so Easter, I wanted a bigger focus on Christ, and Waylon actually typed up this note from the Easter Bunny last year and laid it out when we laid out all their baskets and stuff, and I thought so cute, and it just brought everything back to Christ. And I try to make the Easter basket so simple and make it have something that has to do with Christ. And we always talk about, I love doing the Thursday before Easter, we will do the Passover meal, and we just have like a bunch of like, I don't know, charcuterie board foods, and I'll read our Easter storybook and talk about the first Easter and about Christ's resurrection and all the different aspects of that. And I just love making it a little more Christ-centered and less like candy and Easter bunny and craze focused, because I'm like, we just had Christmas. We just had all these things. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Okay, I realize I'm jumping around a bit, but let's go to Valentine's Day. So, me and Waylon used to trade off, like, one of us would plan Valentine's Day and one of us would plan our anniversary that year, and then the next year we would swap, because I was like, this doesn't make sense. Like, I hate the unspoken of, like, who's doing what and what, like, we both need to do something, and or it always falls on the man or whatever. Didn't love that. So we started doing that, and then as our kids started getting older, and well, actually, when our kids were little and stuff, I was like, after a few years, I was like, wait, and it just like hit me that we didn't need to go on a Valentine's Day date, and Valentine's Day, like, what's the point of Valentine's Day? It's about love, it's about friendship, it's about all these things. And so I decided to make Valentine's Day a family day. And I love it. We do a fondue for dinner every Valentine's Day. We started that tradition a few years ago. And I want to start the tradition of, we haven't done this yet, but I've just been thinking a lot about it and thinking, this is what I want to do for Valentine's Day. I want it to be a day focused on service and love, and so I want to do a service activity with my kids on Valentine's Day, and then we do our fondue thing, and that's our Valentine's Day. I'm like, it doesn't always have to be about a romantic relationship with a partner. You can make it however you want. You can do the traditions however you want. And I'm like, we already have an anniversary, and we can go on a date whenever we want, and we can be romantic whenever we want. It doesn't have to be on Valentine's Day. So why would we choose to go out to dinner on the busiest day to get reservations ever? Like, I just want to be home with my kids. So that's what we started doing, and yeah, I've really enjoyed that. So just remember, you can make up whatever traditions you want. So on to another one, St. Patrick's Day. So people are probably like, we don't do anything. But you know, when you see all the people on Instagram who are like going all out on St. Patrick's Day and making these elaborate traps and these elaborate like things that the leprechaun did, and then like it looks like Christmas on their island in their kitchen, and I'm like, what is happening? How do people have this much like energy, or like what? And I just think that's a lot. So when my kids were little, my mother-in-law actually gave me this idea where you have the kids leave their shoes out, and then the leprechaun like fills up their shoes. And so we've done that for several years now, and I love it because it's like so simple. It's not like, even on the years when I'm like so exhausted or I forget, I can still pull something together last minute real quick, throw it in there, call it good. And so it's been a fun tradition. I also always dye our milk green because that's what my mom did growing up, and it's just like, you have to. But I love a simple tradition that gets my kids really excited, but I also can pull off really fast if needed. Because some years you're just like, oh my gosh, I can't even keep up with anything. And then some years I can put a little more effort into it. But this also, my sister, I thought this was fun. My sister this year told me that she dyed her eyebrows green. And when her kids woke up, they were like, oh, Mom, and like pointing at her eyebrows. She was like, oh my gosh, did the leprechauns dye my eyebrows green? And I thought that was so cute. So if you needed a cute idea for next year, keep that one in your back pocket. Okay, let's talk about birthdays and Mother's Day and Father's Day. Well, I want to do a spiel about all of that, but let's do Mother's Day and Father's Day. This one's hard for me to say because I feel like it makes me sound really selfish. But when it comes to Mother's Day and Father's Day, I'm like, I got a lot of kids at home, and we got a lot going on all the time. Waylon's working a lot. I'm gone a lot. And I just want to do what I want to do on Mother's Day. And I want Waylon to do what he wants to do on Father's Day. And some years that's been, I want to go into the woods and sit in a hammock and not hear the word mom a single time. And then this year I opted to spend it with my family, and we went fishing and whatever. But, which, well, let's be so for real, why did I choose to go fishing when my kids aren't, like, expert fishers yet, and the whole time they're, like, getting the line tangled up, and it's fine. I know it's going to be a peaceful experience to go fishing one day. We're just not quite there yet, but I just have these hopes and dreams of, like, all of us fishing and having this peace and quiet and glorious experience. But that was what I decided to do this year. And Waylon's always so kind and makes all the meals and brings me breakfast and does all the things for me, which is so kind. We don't really do gifts on Valentine's Day. I mean, Mother's and Father's Day. I guess Waylon did bring me flowers this year, but yeah, we're not really like, I don't really think of those days as like, I don't know, gift giving days, unless it's like handmade something, but it's never like expected. And it's more of just like a day of like, what do you want to do? Do you want to go shooting? Do you want to go play frisbee with your brothers? Do you want to go like to your dad's house and have dinner there? Do you want to stay home? Do you want to go on a hike by yourself? Like, whatever you want to do, like, we'll do that, because I want it to be a day to honor him and honor, like, he is the best dad in the whole world, and he deserves everything, and he works so hard, and I want him to do what he wants to do. And I saw this meme, like, a couple years ago. Obviously my kids were very little, and there were several years in a row when I was like, get me out of here. I don't want to hear the word mom for full 12 hours. And then I saw this meme that was talking about how moms on Mother's Day are always like, I don't want to be by my children at all. And then it was like fathers on Father's Day, I just want to spend the day as a family. It just made me laugh, because that was Waylon every year. He was like, I just want to hang out with our kids. And I think we did a hike last year. I don't know what we're gonna do this year, because I'm recording this before Father's Day, but yeah, we went on a hike with our kids last year, which was so fun. And yeah, we just do something different every year. It just depends on what the year brings and whatever. And I know I could do much better at honoring like my mom and my grandmas and my mother-in-laws and all that. Oh man, having kids, it's been a whirlwind, and I just think, man, I became a mom so young. My brain wasn't even fully developed, and now I'm like just catching my breath after having like 4 kids in 3.5 years. And finally, I'm to the point where I don't have like toddlers and babies anymore, so I'm like, okay, maybe I have a little bit more to give in the years to come, rather than just like sending a text or making a phone call. But man, I don't know. We'll have to see. It's been a lot. It's been a lot over the past 8 years, and we are trying to survive. But that brings me to my spiel about birthdays and Mother's Day and Father's Day. Like, can we stop having these expectations and not vocalizing them? Like, I think it needs to be normalized to tell your partner exactly what you want, whether that's a gift, whether that's, I want to go and stay in a hotel for the weekend, I want you to make me meals all day and clean the house, I want you to plan a birthday party with my friends. These are the friends I want you to invite. I want you to do these activities. Like, I don't think that's weird. I think it's actually a very good thing, because the last thing you need is to be disappointed on your birthday or on Mother's Day. And if you have these things in your head where you're thinking, well, I hope he makes this for dinner because I hope he knows. And I'm not saying like you can't do surprises. I think surprises are great. But some years, especially when you have young kids, you just don't have it in you. Like, I think I want to tell Waylon exactly what I want, because when it's his birthday, I want him to tell me exactly what he wants, because I don't want the pressure of, like, I'm already thinking of 4 million things, and now I'm going to disappoint him on his birthday. And I mean, Waylon would never be disappointed. He's always just so grateful. But I just think I don't want to be disappointed on my birthday. I don't want to be disappointed on Mother's Day. Like, and the way to do that is to spell it out. Let's stop like dropping hints. It's not helpful. They don't get the hint. Just tell them what you want and everybody is happier for it. Like, let's normalize that, please, because yeah, we don't need more stress in our life. Okay. At the end of the day, if a tradition is creating more stress than joy, maybe we should rethink that. Maybe let's not do that. And let's stop people pleasing outside of our own household. Well, even in our household probably. But let's stop doing things because other people expect them to. Let's do what's good for our kids. And that's a lesson I am learning and continuing to learn, is that disappointing people is okay, because my job, first and foremost, is to raise good human beings, to raise them into good adults, into good people, and bring them joy and happiness in their childhood. And if I disappoint some people along the way, it's okay. I'm getting to a place where I am learning I'd rather disappoint other adults than my own kids, because they're my primary responsibility. And also my spouse. I don't need to be pleasing people and disappointing my spouse. He is literally going to be with me for eternity. So we got to make each other happy. And yeah, I think the older I get, the more I realize that I get to choose. I get to choose the traditions. I get to choose how we celebrate holidays. I get to choose our family, whatever the word is, dynamic. That's not the word I'm looking for, but our family culture. I get to decide, me and Waylon get to decide what our family culture looks like. And people might be disappointed by those choices, but that's okay. It's okay. It's okay that they're disappointed, and it's okay that you're still choosing that, and people are allowed to have their feelings. They don't always have to be happy about everything that we're happy about. I want to bring more connection with my kids, especially with, I feel like we, in our world today, it's like I've just been thinking about it this spring, because I'm like, holy cow, why do I feel like I'm just like from place to place? Like, we got this soccer, and then we got this soccer practice, and this soccer game, and this performance, and we got this and this and this, and then Waylon's working jobs in the evening, and I am trying to record these podcast episodes, and I've got photography gigs, and he's building an app right now, and it's like a lot. And I know we probably need to cut some things out, but also I'm like, we're in this time of life where I'm like, we're building, and we get to choose those things. And honestly, making these choices has made holidays way more magical for us. Being able to just really focus in on how do we make holidays magical for our kids. And yeah, we're getting closer to that. Or I hope we've achieved that. And I guess when they're adults, they will let us know. So anyways, those are my hot takes or opinions about holidays and what we do. I would love to hear yours, so please share in the comments. And subscribe, rate, review. I'm starting to say those things now because, listen, I want to get a lot of subscribers because it's fun and it shows this show to more people. So if you haven't yet, please subscribe. It means the world, and I'm grateful that you're here. Let's let some opinions change, and I'll see you next week. Bye!